So we have this first starting project here. And what's really important about this project is that if you inspect the page source in your browser, you'll see a bunch of code in there. But most importantly, if you take a closer look, you'll see the actual page content somewhere in that source code. And that's important because that means that the actual content that's visible on the screen, so this text here in this case, was part of the HTML code that was sent back from the server. And that's special because that's not the case in a standard client-side React app. There, if you inspect the source code, you will just see basically empty page and some script imports, but you won't see the actual content that's visible on the screen in that source code. And the reason for that is that a standard React app is manipulated on the client side, in the browser. React.js by default is a client-side JavaScript library, which means it runs in the browser and it edits and manipulates the page in the browser. And that's amazing because that means that the page can be edited after it's been loaded. We can update the state of that page after it's been loaded without having to fetch a new page. But the disadvantage is that, for example, search engine crawlers don't see the actual page content if they visit the page for the first time. And that's the difference here with Next.js. Here we got all the content, not just visually on the screen, but in the actual source code. Because with Next.js, you no longer have a client-side application. Instead, you have a full-stack application. With Next.js projects, you have code that runs on the client, and you have a lot of code that runs on the server. Next.js simply is both. It's not just client-side, not just backend, it's both. And Next.js seamlessly blends client and server-side so that you can use React to build amazing full-stack applications. And that's what we'll do now.